Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the absolute cutting edge of combat sports. We're going to bridge the visceral, sweat-drenched reality of professional boxing with the highly tactical, almost mathematical realm of modern digital simulation. Because whether you're breaking down a championship fight or just picking up a controller on your couch, the underlying philosophy of the sport, well, it's fundamentally shifted. Let's get right into it. Section 1. Technician versus the Destroyer. Let's look at the clash of styles that literally has the entire combat sports world buzzing. This matchup is the ultimate what-if, right? On one side, you have Gervonta Tank Davis representing pure, inevitable power. On the flip side, you've got Shakur Stevenson, the absolute epitome of defensive mastery. He's literally got the best plus-minus in the game, meaning he lands way more punches than he ever absorbs. It's the classic irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Now, just let this number sink in for a second. A 93% knockout rate from Tank Davis. 93. That's not just a stat. That's terrifying. It highlights the sheer, undeniable danger of his power. And honestly, it completely dictates the pacing and the psychology of absolutely anyone who dares step into that ring with him. And that power creates this unbelievable, intense pressure. There's a saying that perfectly captures this dynamic. Stevenson has to be perfect for 12 full rounds, whereas Tank, he only has to be perfect for 1 single second. Think about the mental exhaustion there. Stevenson has to fight a completely flawless, mistake-free match for 36 straight minutes. Davis just needs one tiny slip-up to turn the lights out. But wait, Stevenson's case as the ultimate technician is actually incredibly strong. People usually think of Davis as the smaller guy finding a way inside, but in this matchup, Stevenson actually holds the size and reach advantage. Plus, he has a proven track record of weaponizing his defense. I mean, he spent 36 minutes straight making an elite fighter like Teofimo Lopez look incredibly frustrated. He knows exactly how to use distance to completely dismantle an opponent's game plan. Section 2. Mastering the controls. Because we see this exact same technician energy playing out up in the heavyweight division too. To really understand this, just look back at the absolute masterclass we witnessed this past April. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, stepped in against Arslanbek Makhmudov. Now, Makhmudov is a massive power puncher, the kind of guy who requires absolute pinpoint precision to overcome. So how did Fury handle that kind of raw power? He literally stepped directly in front of the danger. He utilized that super awkward, twitchy movement he's so famous for, and basically made this massive heavyweight swing at shadows for 12 straight rounds. It was wild to watch. Fury showed us exactly what happens when a fighter is just completely, entirely comfortable in the ring. He neutralized the threat not by running, but by commanding the space. Okay, so finding your controls, mastering timing, managing distance, elevating your ring IQ. These are the exact tools that bridge the physical reality of the boxing ring straight into the digital world of gaming. When a real fighter is in the zone, they're essentially operating with a perfectly calibrated controller in their mind. Section 3. Bridging to the digital ring. Let's look at how we take those concepts and simulate the sport today. Right now, we're right in the middle of a major transition in how boxing is simulated. And man, it is a steep learning curve for gamers. Think back to Fight Night Champion. That game had a really fluid, snappy, almost arcade-like feel that was all about quick reflexes. Now contrast that with Undisputed. That game is a much slower, way more deliberate, and frankly, highly punishing simulation. It's just a completely different philosophy of play. In these modern sims, you absolutely have to stop button mashing. You just have to. To succeed, you need to become the judge and jury of the fight. You're suddenly responsible for managing your fighter's stamina, mitigating all that physical damage, and really controlling the holistic narrative of the match. You're no longer just a player pressing buttons, you're a tactician. Section 4. The Cust D'Amato Protocol. This is where it all comes together into an ultimate master strategy for both real and digital boxing. So the Cust D'Amato AI protocol is basically this high-level strategy that treats a fight like a calculated business, rather than just a chaotic brawl. It's entirely focused on prioritizing extreme discipline over wasted energy. Seriously, every single punch, every single movement needs to have a solid return on investment. And the core of this protocol is what's called the download phase. It breaks down into 4 deliberate steps. First, you stay incredibly patient. Second, you actively make the opponent miss, letting them burn through their own energy.
Third, you prioritize high-accuracy counters instead of just throwing volume. And fourth, this is key, because of all that discipline, you actually regenerate maximum stamina. Patience and accuracy literally buy you longevity in the ring. The payoff for sticking to this strict discipline is absolutely incredible. If you execute that download phase correctly, you get the ultimate advantage. You can literally end up physically stronger with more in the tank in round 10 than you were back in round 2. It's a crazy concept, but it works. Your opponent is fading fast, and you are just peaking. And that brings us to the digital peekaboo. It's basically an adaptation of Customado's famous real-world defensive style, but translated directly for video game stamina meters. You force your opponent to swing at thin air, wearing them out physically, while you quietly hoard your data, your stamina, and your health, waiting for the exact moment they finally make a mistake. Section 5. Boxing as Tactical Engineering. Let's draw our final conclusions on the modern landscape of the sport. When you look at the sweet science in 2026, it's entirely connected by this thread of high-level strategy. Whether you're caught up in the drama of Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia, or you're marveling at Tyson Fury making giants swing at air, or analyzing Tank Davis's calculated patience, treating a match like a tactical engineering project, that is the undeniable key to greatness. And this brings us to the absolute core theme of this entire explainer. Boxing is won in the mind before it's won with the hands. True power, whether you're sweating in the physical ring or gripping a controller, always stems from strategic intelligence. The hands, they're just the tools. Your mind is the architect of the victory. Thank you so much for joining this explainer. I really hope this deep dive gave you a fresh perspective on the mechanics of the sport. So I'll leave you with this. How will you apply this sweet science and the D'Amato Protocol the next time you face a formidable opponent in your own ring? Until next time, keep analyzing, keep learning, and keep mastering those controls.